Okay, welcome to Be Lit this nice Saturday morning. I hope you guys got to sleep in a little bit. So, last time we read, we left off on the distinctive gospel form. Today, the title for today's section or today's page 73 and 74, is Why Were the Gospels Written? So, again, welcome to Be Lit, where we strive to have a more proficient theology than which you can find in a meme. Why the Gospels were written, page 73. The Gospels are, in essence, the combining of the gospel message with other important material as it relates to Jesus's life and teaching. They are called Gospels because they embody the gospel, the story of who Jesus was and what he did. But why did they arise at this particular time? Why wasn't it good enough just to pass the word along by word of mouth from one generation to the next or from one place to another? One of the main reasons written gospels were needed was the speed and extent of the spread of the gospel message. This made it simply impossible for the church to spread the word by oral means alone. Within 40 years, and by this time, at least 3 of the 4 Gospels had been written, the word of God had spread across the Roman Empire, and many thousands had believed. It was impossible that the apostles or accredited teachers could travel across that vast area to all the remote corners where believers could be found and there speak the word personally. The written story of Jesus could go and be read to groups and by individuals. They could be read repeatedly, studied, and memorized so that who Christ was could become a part of who they were. Another reason for writing the Gospels was that as time went on, the apostles aged and passed from the scene. We do not have concrete facts to go on here, but by AD 70, most had perished for their faith. There was a sense of urgency that the material be recorded before those who knew it best were gone. Another reason could have been that early believers were looking to the future. They sincerely believed that Christ was going to return soon, but who knew when that would be? If it were almost immediately, there'd be no need to write anything down. But who is to say how long it would actually be? As the years went by, it only made sense to record what was known of Jesus, so that it could be remembered right up to the end, whether it be very soon or much later than expected. And I think we're at time. Oh, I still have time. Okay. It was also possible that inauthentic or perhaps distorted accounts were beginning to make their appearance. We're not sure of this, but if they were, this would be yet another reason to record the truth while it could still be verified. That means while eyewitnesses were still alive. That's kind of cool. But perhaps the main reason for writing the Gospels down was the need for factual material to use in the instruction of new converts. It wasn't long before virtually everyone who was converted to the new faith came without any knowledge of who Christ was. They needed to be instructed in the basic facts of Christ's life. They needed to know of Old Testament history and prophecies, Jesus' birth, his preaching, his miracles, his healings, his teachings, his triumph over demons, something of his travels, and the facts relating to his trial, death, and resurrection. And these new believers were becoming, quote unquote, Christians, those who followed Christ. It was mandatory that they be taught who Christ was so they could become disciples just as those who had followed him in Galilee in real time. So that is the end. That brings us to mid 75. And tomorrow, I don't want to read anymore today. So tomorrow we'll tomorrow we'll finish chapter 3. Tomorrow we'll finish chapter 3. Chapter 3 was a pretty short chapter. So here's a picture of that map again. I showed it last time. What does it say? The spread of the gospel by AD 100. So there's a couple extra boxes to read on page 73, 74, and 75. I'll read those boxes, key terms, vocabulary, extra things like that next time. Tomorrow maybe, if I get around to it. So, all right, cool. If any of you guys are actors out there and you audition for something this week, or you practice monologuing or anything, I hope that went well for you. I had an audition this week, which made me very excited. Hope I get it. But if I don't, that's okay. All right, bye guys.